Welcome one and all to GameCola's 2018 The End Day celebration. 21 years after Savage War engulfed the world, we have an extra special The End Day for all of you. I, Alex the Jeddy Jedrazak, your Jedditor-in-Chief, have personally translated Godslayer, the original Japanese version of Crystalis, for you, the GameCola faithful. This video is a comparison of my relatively direct translation of the original Godslayer against the text from the 1990 North American release of Crystalis. A lot of the text is obviously going to be pretty similar, so my intent was to capture the original essence as well as I could. But that does mean that some of the lines sound a little silly. But if you want a loose translation that sounds good, you might as well just play Crystalis again, because it's a relatively faithful translation. And obviously, I'm not a native Japanese speaker, and it's surprisingly difficult to translate a game that has 0 kanji, so there's a few lines that I'm not 100% sure about, but I'll point those out along the way. For now, let's get to it! 1990X, October, the end. Wait. 1990X, October, the end day, all in caps? What is this? How much are they going to change? This is entirely different. Literally nothing is the same. How is this going to go? Let's get back to it. 1990X, October, the end day. Mankind's arrogance led to the destruction of civilization. Earth rained down its great punishment on humanity, Earth's axis and nature and all living things. Everything completely changed to chaos. The people atoned for their error, to never repeat their ways, created a tower high in the sky, to never again let their hearts be taken by the devil. Whoa! Look at that opening! Dude, that is so much better than Crystalis. I can't wait. "100 years have passed. The surface of the earth has been taken over by monsters. The people, while huddled together in fear of monsters, created villages to defend themselves. Living in days of despair and unease, amongst the people, naturally and certainly, a legend of a savior has been passed down. Their one and only hope." The text flashes by super quick in this next part, but it's mostly the same, except for System 420904, which I think is some developer's birthday. If we're assuming Showa year 42, that'd be 1967. So in 1989, some 22-year-old developer put their birthday in the game, so that's fun. And we put in GameCola here, and then we actually begin the game. Now, the big video on the left over here is the actual gameplay of Godslayer. In the upper right, you'll see my translation, which I'll be reading for you. In the lower right, for comparison, is the original text from Crystalis. And I tried to record enough time to read and discuss, but I also didn't want to linger, so feel free to pause if you have to. Aye! A person came out! This is the village of the Valley of Wind. Wait, Valley of Wind? 1 minute into the game and I already have to pause the video. Most people familiar with Crystalis have probably heard of Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind. There's some pretty obvious references. Both take place a long time after civilization is destroyed, in a world dominated by mutated creatures, where the main character wears a gas mask in a poison swamp to meet a giant bug creature. But in English, the town is called Leaf. Leaf. They at least pretend it's something different. In Japanese, they literally say in the first minute of the game the words Valley of the Wind. It's like they took Nausicaa and just added some kind of castle in the sky. Anyway, terrible demons are all over outside. Please be careful. Now, I try not to linger too long on any one line, but if I go too quickly, you can always just pause the video and take a look. Oh, it's you. Sorry about running away earlier. The lighthouse guard is in that house. He talks sweet, but all he does is nap. Enough to even trouble Zebu. Also, you may notice that in the Japanese, over on the left, they give a huge amount of space to the name. Isn't it cold? Here, cold wind blows without rest, but we're fine with this amount of cold. You can see, though, that I tried to keep that while keeping enough space to get all the text, so the name is there at the top. Oh, you've finally woken. This money is from Sage Zebu. Take it. Oh, sometimes there are lines missing from the English version, so I just put a blank space there. The sages are passionate people who devote themselves to the faith of all people. It's interesting that it says kururu kururu in Japanese, but they said QQ, which is entirely unrelated. I don't know about that one. There's a big windmill outside the valley, but I've never seen it turn, even once. Oh, it's you. The person who came from the Cave of Awakening. Just as according to the legend. The warrior of legend awakens to the call of the heavens, 4 swords in hand, leading the people on the path of light. It would be best if you took this sword. From now on, you'll be helping protect us. Got Sword of Wind. Please take care. The Awake flute is a weird flute. Even someone fast asleep will wake right up. Did you visit the Elder's house? I'm Zebu's #1 disciple. You hold your head too high. Fix that! And I skip straight over to, where we get to meet with Zebu. Or Zebu, as they call him in Japanese. I am Zebu. The people call me a sage. Oh, GameCola, the chosen one! See if you can make the windmill outside the valley turn. If you can, I will grant you my power. Zbee, Zbee. What? Ah, you surprised me, Urgh! What, it's you. Don't tell Zebu about this. Use this to turn the windmill. Speaking of which, Zebu said that in that cave is this mysterious ball that can blow apart boulder walls. You got windmill key. Did you find the ball? Well, good luck. What a guy. The windmill started moving. If you go west from here, a sage called Zebu is living in a cave. It's difficult to part. Please take care. Well done, GameCola. I'll teach you the stamina recover skill Refresh. Oh, all the skill names are actually exactly what they say in English, except for Paralyze. Go and open up the way using your own power. You got Jumping Rabbit Boots. I feel like that was just too long to cram into the namespace. Oh, if you pardon me, I'd like to pause for a second and talk about this guy right here. In Japanese, he's called Akahana, and the name is kept in the original Crystalis release, where it means nothing to Westerners. But in Japanese, his name literally means red nose, and I never noticed it until thinking about this translation, but he literally has a red nose. It's also kind of a trope in anime, as you can see from the likes of this one guy from Princess Mononoke, or this other guy from Gundam, where he's creatively named Akahana again. So yeah, in my translation, I'll be calling him Red Nose to emphasize the meaning. Let's continue. I got a rare bronze statue, but on the way to this village, in the field on the other side of the river, it seems I dropped it. And it was such a lucky find you rarely get. This is the Traveler's Town. With people traveling from all over, it's lively all year round. I've heard that somewhere in the field there's a town where only women live. I wonder if it's true. It's also interesting to me that it's just called the Traveler's Town in Japanese, but it's called Bryn Mawr in English. Deep in that lost forest is the village of the orcs, but the orcs don't speak the human language, so it's pointless to go. If you head east, that's the Lost Forest. It's a terrible place where vegetation emits poison gas. There are 2 routes to climb Mount Sabare. One is west and one more is north. but there the path is more complicated, so it's very dangerous. I'd also like to point out that it's called Mount Sabure, not Seiba or something. Hey, we're talking about an easy way to make money. It's ridiculous to work hard. Now then, I'm off. I was talking about how I happened upon a rock on Mount Sabure and sold it for an incredible amount of money, and then his eyes lit up. Welcome, have a drink. To the north of this village, a sage called Tornell lives with a disciple. You got Red Nose's statue. Handed over Red Nose's statue. Oh, isn't that my bronze statue? Thank you so very much. Are you going to the Lost Forest? Well, use this gas mask. If not, you'll get hurt by poison gas. Let's meet again sometime. You got gas mask. The Traveler's Town is just south of the cave. Tornell? He's out training right now. Please come by when a new day dawns. Oh, in this next part, they're just speaking Orc language, so they just say Ta, Tsuhe, Raha, all of them, but for some reason they translated that as go in peace in English. I'm Tornell. If you're the true warrior of legend, a contest with this Stom should be easy, right? Well then, I'll explain the rules. You win by driving your opponent to the wall by repeatedly hitting the button. I like that they left those details out, the instructions. I am Stom, training under Tornell. GameCola, come! And then there's no way to win. Those arms are still a little inexperienced. Go out and come back again. Oh, you did pretty good, didn't you? Then I'll grant you the skill of telepathy. This is a skill that lets you talk to animals at far distant sages, wherever you go. If you have trouble, go ahead and ask us sages. Well, I need to go to the training place. GameCola, if you find the tornado bracelet, come to my place. Stom, take care of the house. You got telepathy. Please come again. This orc village. I hate humans! They kind of talk a little, like perhaps this isn't their primary language. My boy went to the Lost Forest and hasn't come back. You haven't seen my boy, have you? She's the only one who talks like a normal human being. It's weird that they speak like they have an accent. There's no way the village chief would talk to a human. I like that they say something like a human in Japanese, but that doesn't make sense in English. Just a bunch of dots. My home smell like human! Go on, get! Yeah, it's weird that they speak with a weird accent when, this is supposed to be telepathy, right? Like, you can understand them. I imagine they're speaking orc language. But for some reason, they speak really stilted and, very simplistically. Like, maybe it's like how, Tornell said, oh, you can talk to animals. It doesn't say anything about other languages, so maybe these are supposed to be, animals, I guess? Mommy, I'm scared. Wanna go home. It's okay now. I'll take you back to the village. Really? You take me home? Yay, thanks. Yeah, maybe it's supposed to emphasize that they are not quite humans or of human level intelligence. So yeah, they talk kind of silly. There he goes. In that family house tell of bug flute, but what terrible flute to call poison bug. Thank you so much. You're my boy's savior. I give you bug flute and thanks. Savior isn't really the best word, but benefactor sounds weird. You got bug flute. Be good boy now on. Humans have always discriminated us, but you are different from those guys. Oh, have I mentioned that this is the village of the orcs yet? Do you believe in God? That one's kind of weird. But yeah, this is a village of orcs, not oak. Please help me, oak. You helped, child? I give my thanks. I also have favor to ask you. I want you to defeat monster in Poison Swamp. That monster ate many of my kind. Monster cannot attack village because holy item. But we are weak, can't wield holy item. I entrust this to you. Please somehow save our village. I'd also like to point out that what I call holy item he originally calls Goshintai, which is defined in the dictionary as object of worship believed to contain the spirit of a deity. You got Sword of Fire. It's kind of interesting how religious they make these orcs. On west side of mountain seen be human sage training place. Why not go if you're up to it? Oh, you say you've defeated that monster. We no more live in fear. GameCola, you are God of our salvation. That holy item is yours. Yikes. Our feelings of thanks. We offer it however we can. We will never forget this day. Like, they really go to some extremes in the original Japanese. We will worship you and tell of you as God of our salvation throughout the orc tribe. We truly thank you. Yikes. They really left all of that out of the English translation. Oh, it you, God. I believe in God. Remember him earlier? He asked if we believe in God. Well, he believes in us as God now. I've improved my view of humans. Like, wow, what a difference. Thank you. It's all thanks to you. From now on, I'll be a good child, really. It's weird that they gave him two different phrases in Japanese, but not in English. To bring out the greatest power of the Sword of Wind, it seems that the tornado bracelet can be found somewhere on Mount Sabre. Oh, the wind of sorrow blows strong. Return to the village of wind as soon as possible. Some weird guys suddenly showed up and took everyone somewhere. It was scary. It's also funny to me that the rabbits, they speak like children, but they don't speak as poorly as the orcs did. You've done well finding me. However, to teach you a new skill, you must find the tornado bracelet. So then I'm gonna magically go out and through the power of video, oh, GameCola, you've done well coming this far. Then I will teach you the skill of teleport. This is a skill that will let you instantly move to a place you want to go. I pray for your safe travels. It's hard to show that he speaks a bit rough. He kinda says more, I'm a-praying for your safe travels. You got teleport. GameCola, don't climb yet. Your power can't compete. Ah, nay dares. The mountain path beyond here has been blocked by strange guys wandering around. I don't know what they're up to and it gives me the creeps. Nadares is so nostalgic. All I can think of is the Crystalis RPG cast from a few years ago. If you haven't watched it, you should go give it a shot. The lady here's cooking is great. It has a rich flavor without being too much. This is the ultimate taste, you know? The lady as in, the missus, the lady of the house. Welcome, customer. Come and rest the weariness of your travels. Oh, it's also nadare, not nadare. A little while ago, a person came from the traveler's town and went climbing. He was young and full of spirit. Yeah, you'll see they call it Bryn Mawr in English again, but it's just called the Traveler's Town, there's no name. I'm old now, but long ago I could climb a mountain or two like this. I like that in Japanese they have specific words that kind of say, I'm an old person and you can read it in writing. I'm not sure why I paused so long on that line. My son Nadare is still a snot-nosed baby chick. Wah ha 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 ha. He's really rough on his son. Like, he says like 3 separate terms that are all really rude to him. And again, not really sure why I paused so long on that one. It's you. I dreamed of getting rich quick. Phew, but it turned out like this. Weird guys caught me. In the jail, in the cave, they locked me up. People brought from the Valley of Wind. They're forcing them to work. I managed to escape, but they chased and got me. This is my limit. Get a hold of yourself. Open your eyes. Just one more time, I wanted to eat that lady's cooking. Why? Why? And also he's like 5 feet away from the inn, please. He's already dead. If only they could have dragged him, you know, the approximate 10 feet to the door. You hear some talking voices. Hey, are those Wind Valley guys working properly? Working hard or hardly working? Yeah, even when the cold is strong, they work without complaining. Then again, they can't really say anything. Those guys better work hard or else. For the prosperity of the Dragonia Empire. In English, they sound a bit more excitable. Who are you? Pass here is off limits. We're to arrest any suspicious guys. I like translating Yatsura as guys. Oh, Yatsume. Oh, they're upset. The elder is being held in the cave at the summit. He's being held hostage to make us work. Again, I'm not really sure why I paused so long on some of these lines, so maybe I'll try to get some useful time out of these pauses. So I do like noticing that, it seems those Dragonia guys are using the ore mine here to make a special metal called hard metal. It's interesting to me that it's clear that this was translated by an American or, you know, a Westerner, someone who's an English native as opposed to a Japanese native. It seems one part of the jail wall leads to the summit. The soldiers were talking about it. But yeah, you know, if you have a Japanese native try to translate into English, you get some stilted dialogue, you get some misspellings, you know, that kind of thing. There are people from town in the next jail as well. Go help them. But instead what you get here is sometimes they don't fully understand the Japanese text. You saved us, thanks. So you see a lot of like homonyms and that kind of thing that are issues here. Geez, you saved me. Geez, you saved me. Thank you for saving me. But me with my modern dictionaries and stuff, it's a little easier for me to see. I am General Kelbesk, one of Dragonia Empire's Big Four. You whelp, you don't even know your place, so I will show you. I like in English, you will now see the wrath of my power, whatever that means. Don't think you've won over me with this. You will do well to think of the next time as your last. Just you wait and see. Boo 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 boo. Kelbesk left a treasure box. Also point out that he's called Kerubesku in Japanese, so I just left it as is. You got Flame Bracelet. I mean, it's a made-up name, so I'll just keep it as it was. Use the key. You open the door. It's interesting to me when they add more details into the English version. Oh, it's you, GameCola. Is everyone from the village safe? You have my thanks. From the bottom of my heart, you have my thanks. GameCola, continue further in. You'll arrive at the capital of Portoa. Oh, the capital of Portoa. I've heard the queen ruling there has a mysterious power. I'm sure that power will become yours. Go and take care. Oh, GameCola, you've done well. I'll teach you the skill of Paralyze. Which is interesting because in English they call it Paralysis, but this is the one thing that's very slightly differently named in the spells. This is a power that will paralyze demons. Use it on humans and they'll fall asleep. It should be helpful in the next town. Wink. You got Paralyze. My favorite part of the RPG cast. Whee! This is the capital of water, Portoa. The town benefits from the meltwater from Mount Sabra. It seems Dragonia won't attack the town out of fear of the Queen's power. Have I mentioned that it's just called Dragonia, whereas in English they call it Dragonia for some reason? Some people went in the direction of the waterfall and have to come back. People are saying there are monsters. Speaking of which, a greedy old man called Red Nose went to the waterfall and hasn't come back either. Nobody cares about him, though. A girl came from the lake deep in the field to the south. That girl went toward the boatlender's place. I like that they have a term for boatlender as one word, whereas we say, I think she came to rent a boat. I also like that I paused really long on this one guy for some reason. My father is out searching for his throbbing lamp. He won't be back for a while. I'm still really not sure what Tokimeki no Rampu is supposed to be. Tokimeki I always knew to be like Doki Doki, like your heartbeat, like throbbing. So, this town's fortune teller is really accurate. She takes a good amount of breaks though, which is a fly in the ointment. Don't be rude to the queen. Oh hey! We got a match. Exactly the same in English and Japanese. Or in my translation and in the original translation. The queen is in this center room. I teach etiquette here. Oh yeah, he's got a soft S, so I don't know about Evans, he's Evans in my translation. We'd do anything for the queen. Oh, we'll do anything for the queen. That's pretty close. The queen is a wise and very kind person. Hey, don't bother me, 'cause I'm thinking about a menu of food to be put before the queen. The queen sometimes disappears from her room. How could she be getting out without anyone noticing, I wonder? Hey, don't wander around the queen's room. I am the Queen of Portoa, and you are? The legendary warrior who they say made it through Mount Sabra. Oh, also, in the same way that there are words to make somebody sound old, she speaks very queenly. It's too peaceful here that I am bored. Become my conversation partner. She uses a lot of words that make her sound both old-timey and ladylike. How is the look of the town? Portoa's beauty is a point of pride for me. It would be good if you stayed as long as you like. Oh, it's already that time. Today was awfully fun. The Queen wishes to meet with no one else today. Please return another day. And I think we're gonna follow that instruction, so we'll return with episode 2 later. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me on this very special The End Day. I guess it's alright to spread it out throughout the month since in the original Japanese there was no specific day. To make sure you don't miss out on the rest of my translation comparison or any of the other cool content GameCola has to offer, make sure you like and subscribe. If you don't get all these references I keep dropping, then maybe you'd be interested in our other content. So be sure to check out our other videos, or you can visit our actual internet website, GameCola.net. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter, and all the links to these will be provided in the description. See you again soon for the rest of our The End Day Celebration 2018.